Terrifying dashcam footage captures the moment a car drove off a collapsed bridge, plunging into a crater created by severe flooding in China's Heilongjiang province. The video shows a white SUV overtaking another vehicle before it hurtles into a gaping hole formed after heavy rains and floods swept away part of the bridge. The SUV smashes into the opposite bank before flipping onto its side as bystanders quickly rush over to help. The footage then reveals how a river has split the damaged bridge, with another vehicle submerged at the bottom of the muddy crater. This incident comes amid a national crisis caused by Typhoon Doksuri, which has destroyed homes and critical infrastructure, impacting an estimated 130 million people. The video shows the SUV speeding past the dashcam vehicle, only to suddenly veer off the edge, slamming into the muddy bank on the other side. The dashcam driver halts and cautiously backs up as the SUV teeters, unbalanced. In a follow-up clip, bystanders gather to assist the SUV driver, who is seen standing on the partially submerged vehicle, clutching a rope for stability against the powerful current below. As the camera zooms closer to the crater, another car can be seen in the murky waters below. On Tuesday, November the 12th, a helicopter from Chile's National Forestry Corporation crashed along the Mataquito River while battling a wildfire in central Chile. The HC-21 helicopter went down in Rauco as it attempted to collect water from the river. The crash occurred when its tail rotor struck electrical cables, forcing an emergency landing. The pilot is reported to be in good condition. Video footage released by Bomberos de Chile shows the damaged helicopter on the riverbank. As of late Tuesday, the wildfire was reported to be under control. Thankfully, the pilot could escape the helicopter and luckily it didn't explode. This class of helicopters has had historical problems with tail rotor blade failures. One blade breaks, the other stays on. The imbalance nearly immediately breaks off the gearbox and chaos ensues. This scary video was recorded by a doorbell camera on a winter day. If you live in cold countries such as Canada or the US, you know snow can be beautiful and dangerous at the same time. The wait came to make roofs collapse and trees to break. As this woman was walking by the house, this unfortunate thing happened. As you can see, the tree either fell on her or right in front of her, but she stood up almost immediately after. She was touching her head at the end, but it doesn't look like the tree really hit her. people need to be more aware of their surroundings. I guarantee that the tree was making noises as that was happening, and it was literally already bent in half as she was walking up to it. In Istanbul, a 5-year-old girl has been rescued alive from the rubble of an 8-story building that collapsed on Wednesday. Security footage on Haberturk television captured the moment the building fell, showing people, including children with backpacks, running from the site as a cloud of dust filled the area. Avatekgoz was found 18 hours after the collapse and was rushed to the hospital, according to Turkish emergency services. Her miraculous rescue came just hours after a 9-year-old boy was also safely removed from the debris. Authorities are investigating the cause of the collapse, noting that the top 3 floors had been illegally constructed. Turkey's Minister of Environment and Urbanization, Murat Kurum, stated today that rescue teams are still hearing sounds from under the rubble, suggesting more survivors may be trapped, though he did not specify how many. The building housed 14 apartments with 43 registered residents. However, Minister Kurum mentioned that some apartments had guests at the time, though he did not give further details. So far, 3 bodies have been recovered and 13 people, including the 2 children, have been rescued. A shocking helicopter crash was captured on camera by a passenger and bystanders as a sightseeing flight spiraled out of control and crashed into a river. Footage from inside the helicopter shows a woman in the front seat beside the pilot, with 2 other tourists seated in the back. Initially, laughter and cheers fill the cabin as the helicopter circles over the Rio Turvo in Capitolio, Brazil. But the joy quickly turns to terror as the pilot loses control, causing the helicopter to veer dangerously low before crashing into the river near the sandy shore. Bystanders on land also filmed the accident, with their video capturing the moment the helicopter lost altitude and plunged into the water just moments after takeoff, followed by the sound of screams from witnesses. In a separate video, concerned onlookers can be seen rushing to the crash site. Miraculously, all 3 passengers and the pilot survived with only minor injuries, though the helicopter was destroyed. Crash investigators suspect a tailwind prevented the pilot from gaining altitude, leading to the accident. The helicopter, owned by the WZUS Fly tour company, reportedly emitted a motor alarm sound that the pilot ignored, according to the Aviation Safety Network. This is the car that ignited the massive fire at Luton Airport a year ago, pictured for the first time just moments before the blaze swept through the multi-story car park, destroying over 1,300 vehicles.
Because there should be playback even if the camera
I'm
is destroyed.
yeah. At least.
Oh my god. That looks fake.
You've got.
The red Range Rover Sport, which burst into flames, was confirmed by fire investigators to be a diesel model. not a hybrid or electric car, as initially suspected. This finding was included in a new report on the incident released on October 10, 2023. Experts concluded that a sprinkler system could have significantly limited the fire spread and recommended making such systems mandatory, even in open-sided car parks. CCTV footage from that night shows the Range Rover entering the short-term number, 2 car park at 2042 BST, already emitting light-colored smoke from its engine. By 2047, the driver had reached the 3rd floor, stopped the car, exited, and called emergency services. When the first fire crews arrived around 2055, multiple cars were already on fire, with 3 visibly ablaze from outside the car park. At 2107, the group commander arrived and received reports that at least 6 cars were engulfed in flames. A massive container crane at Taiwan's Keelung port collapsed on October 14th after an apparent collision with a Chinese-registered cargo ship. According to Breakbulk News, the vessel was delivering 3 new bridge cranes to Dock 20 at the West Coast Container Terminal when it reportedly struck the landside crane, setting off a devastating chain reaction. Footage of the incident shows the crane tipping over and crashing into a neighboring crane, with both collapsing to the ground. As the ship continued to push forward after the initial collision, heavy containers fell like dominoes, forcing shocked port workers to flee for their lives. The crane, capable of lifting containers weighing up to 30 tons, initially leaned precariously before fully collapsing, crushing 5 containers under its massive weight. A 58-year-old worker, surnamed Chang, suffered a cut to his arm and was sent to the hospital, while 2 engineers operating inside the crane were trapped in the wreckage. The engineers, identified as a 33-year-old man surnamed Lin and a 31-year-old man surnamed Yang, were rescued using a 60-meter mast-type jib crane. The rescue operation was completed by 12:44 p.m. on Thursday. Witnesses reported that both men appeared deeply shaken but not seriously injured. As one of Taiwan's major shipping hubs, Keelung Port now faces the significant challenge of replacing the destroyed cranes while maintaining smooth operations. Port authorities and terminal management are working to ensure minimal disruption and a swift return to normal activities.